It is a mark of irrationality to overreact. Yet overreaction is very common to our modern world. If we are for or against something, there's always a voice suggesting a law to mandate it or prohibit it altogether. In politics, the most outrageous construction is attributed to opponents' positions, in the knowledge that supporters will parrot such slander and the campaign will turn on such phony issues. Our political system now only operates on premeditated attempts to cause voters to overreact. The sad fact is, voters tend to do so. This is evidence that voters think and act in terms of emotional reaction to campaign rhetoric, not in terms of principles. One of the reasons for overreaction and exaggeration is that it swings the pendulum of public opinion further than a truthful assessment. Propaganda sways the masses. What this suggests is that there's a problem with the people that both tolerate and act in terms of such misrepresentations. People are told lies because they will respond to lies in a predictable way. Back in the 1960s, conservatives coined a term in response to the lawlessness of the student movements and the race riots. That term was law and order. As my father observed at the time, law and order could be either a good thing or a bad thing, depending upon what law was in view and the nature of the order. There is, after all, law and order in a graveyard, but there's no life or liberty there. We are today faced with another law and order campaign that offers us neither life nor liberty. The exaggerated threat today is not student sit-ins or riots, but terrorists. And the overreaction is always in the name of security. We even have a massive federal agency called Homeland Security. This is a federal agency dedicated to what critics of socialized welfare programs once called cradle-to-grave security, or womb-to-tomb security. The cost of this security in the last dozen years has to be measured in more than monetary units. We have lost our freedoms, our privacy, and our First Amendment rights, all in the name of our security. We still brag about being the land of the free and the home of the brave, but we are in fact one of the most regulated and taxed people of history, and there has been very little evidence of any resistance by the American people. In the name of security, our privacy is lost. The NSA gathers billions of pieces of data on emails and internet usage. When the government does not want to comply with a court order or congressional demands, it merely cites national security as the reason. In the name of security, the president claims he can murder Americans with drones, and no mention is made of his removal by impeachment. In the name of security, our government spies on Americans and eavesdrops on reporters who criticize such actions. When someone reveals the illegal activity of the government, they must become an international fugitive. Our Constitution was the first attempt to put limits on government power. This move to limit government power was a product of the Puritan belief in man's sinful nature. The idea was that you don't give man power because he will abuse it. John Cotton, a Puritan, once said, "If you tether a beast at night, it knows the length of its tether by morning." This is what the Constitution attempted to do. The importance we should remember of liberty is not that it is a right of man, intrinsic to man's nature, but that it is the means whereby man can best serve God. And the absence of liberty both hinders that calling and represents the state's claim to play God. It takes a free people, that is, a people who believe in freedom, to further liberty. Our modern age is characterized by a welfare mentality, a slave mentality, wherein people believe someone else will be their keeper. In calling itself the guardian of their security, the government projects itself as that agency. Social security has morphed into total security. The cradle-to-grave security state has arrived, but it offers no security to our liberties or our constitutional rights. The new security is the old tyrannical statism. The message of these statists to those who still believe in liberty is, shut up, don't cause a ruckus, and there won't be any problems. In fact, in their world, there won't be much of anything left.